Yo, what's going on? It's Dman. I know it's been a while since I posted on the anime channel, mainly because I'm not sure where I want to take it. Part of me wants to just put you all on to all the anime I know about, and I'll probably end up doing that for sure. But part of me also want to play anime games, and I'm not sure if they belong on the same platform. But at the same time, why not? You know what I mean? So I do have some anime games that are unfinished, like Attack on Titan, Sword Art Online, and One Piece. But I'm thinking about waiting until Dragon Ball Kakarot comes out, and then I'll be posting on this channel heavy. But today, I want to put you all onto some anime. I'll try to post every Monday and Friday. I believe I can do that. So today is Monday, which means I want to post. It'll be part one of a series that I'm working on, and I just want to show you my Blu-ray collection. Now, a lot of people say, D-Man, why show us your Blu-ray collection? Well, this is a way for me to put you on to some great shows, because honestly, I mean, there are good anime, great anime, and then there's good enough to own on Blu-ray anime. You know what I mean? So if I have it on Blu-ray, I definitely recommend it, besides like a couple. I do have a couple, I call them 0 out of 10 will recommend, but I'll talk about those shows when I get to them. So I have a lot of Blu-ray, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is only part one of the video. There may be 2 or 3 parts. We'll see how it goes, but let me go ahead and jump into this. I'm gonna just grab Blu-ray off the top of the stack, and whatever pops up. It's not in any particular order. And so of course we're gonna start it with not even a Blu-ray, it is a DVD set, but Baek Mongolian Chop Squad. Baek Mongolian Chop Squad is one of my favorite musical anime ever. And not only that, but it also has a really good live action film. So let me go ahead and talk about Baek really quick. Baek has 26 episodes. There is subbed and dubbed, but I definitely recommend watching the sub version because it just makes more sense in the sub version. So let's go ahead and get into the synopsis. It's about a boy named Koyuki who saved a weird looking dog from being harassed in the middle of the street, and this dog name is Baek, hence the title of the show. And Baek is owned by a guitarist named Ray, who's in a band, and this band is trying to blow up, not only in Japan, but they want to hit in America and become one of the best bands ever. So Koyuki meets Ray and he wants to learn the guitar, but it turns out he has a really good voice too, so they let him in the band and the journey begins. Now this is one of my favorite musical animes ever. The side characters are really good, the bandmates are really good. They definitely have drama in this show, they have an end goal in this show, and they have romance in this show. So the show is pretty much music, drama, slice of life, which is really like top tier for me. So if you haven't seen Baek, it came out a long time ago. I believe it came out in 2005. So if you're not one of those animation fiends and you just want to see a good story, definitely check this show out. Okay, so next up we have a classic in Samurai Champloo. Now, you all know I like a good presentation with my Blu-ray, and Samurai Champloo delivers on that, so shout out to them. Now, I'm pretty sure I don't have to talk about Samurai Champloo too much because, like I said, in my opinion, it's really a classic. I love this show. A lot of people have seen it, but if you haven't seen it, I'll definitely talk about it for you. Once again, this anime came out in 2005. There's 26 episodes. It's about a girl named Fu who hires 2 samurai to be her bodyguards to go find another samurai who smells of sunflowers. One of the samurai that she hires is named Mugen, and this guy is a beast. His style is more of a breakdancing type when he's slicing you up. And the other samurai is named Jin. He's more traditional with it, but he's still a beast in his own right. And so this show is a journey, this show is a trip. Not only are the battles really good, you have Mugen and Jin taking on whoever steps in their way, slicing people down, chopping people up, limbs are getting severed. This show is very gruesome, and I love it. And of course, there's a rivalry between Mugen and Jin. You know, they both consider themselves some of the best swordsmen alive, so of course they want to face off too, even though they should be getting along. It's really like a Goku and Vegeta, Naruto, Sasuke type of deal, except way better, you know what I mean? So I enjoy the story, I enjoy the characters, and of course, I cannot talk about Samurai Champloo without talking about the soundtrack, because this soundtrack is amazing. Rest in peace to Jun Seba, otherwise known as Nujabes. His production on this show is really next level. It's hip-hop mixed with jazz, but it's so smooth, man. and it fits with the transitions of the show really well. I guarantee, like, if you watch this show, you're gonna want to dive into his music when you're done with it because it is that good. To be honest, Samurai Champloo is a good show, but the soundtrack makes it a great show, in my opinion. So like I said, this show is a classic. I'm not going to talk about it too much. Just know if you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. So next in the stack, we have Amon. This is actually one of my favorite slice of life anime. So it's this show is funny. Oh man, I can't wait to talk about it. So it's about a guy named Honda who is on the road to become a calligraphy master. So one day at a showcase, his art style or his calligraphy style was critiqued, and he ended up punching a dude in the face. And because of that, his parents sent him to the countryside of Japan to get his mind right. Now on these islands, he meets a girl named Haru. And Haru is one of the most adorable, hilarious characters in all of anime. She is a trip. Like, it's just little kid stuff that if you watched like your little siblings or a little cousin, you definitely seen these things before, but just to see it in anime is hilarious for some reason. So back to Honda. The whole reason he got upset is because his calligraphy style is described as very robotic. He lacks his own style in his calligraphy, so him going to this island is kind of like redemption. You know, him being on that island, learning that there's way more than life than just calligraphy actually helps him with his calligraphy, you know? So he develops his own style, he develops friendships, he breaks his shell, and it's just a really good slice of life coming of age anime. It's funny, it's dramatic, you will fall in love with the characters, and it's only 12 episodes, so it's a quick watch. It came out in 2014, good animation, great intro. I love the intro to this show. It's just a well put together show, and sometimes you just have to sit back and appreciate that. But Amon is definitely a watch. Love it. So let's go ahead and get into the next one. All right. I'm not going to talk about this one at all. Spirited Away. If you haven't seen Spirited Away and you consider yourself an anime fan, I don't know, bro. I don't know if I could trust you. Spirited Away is a classic. I'm pretty sure we've all seen at least one Studio Ghibli film or a Miyazaki film. But if you haven't, I definitely recommend starting at Spirited Away. It's about a family and their daughter Chihiro who are actually in the process of moving, and they get lost. They end up going down a tunnel in a forest, and because of that, they get trapped in the spirit world. Now, of course, the family doesn't know that they're in the spirit world, but they do see a bunch of food, and the parents decide to go crazy, pig out on the food, and because of that, they become pissed themselves. So in order to save her family and to save herself and to escape from the spirit world, Chihiro has to work and signs her life over to a witch in order to help her parents out. Now, that's a really simple synopsis, but man, this adventure was crazy. In Studio Ghibli, or Miyazaki in general, he has a way of taking you into another world when you're watching his films, and it's always a world that you want to explore, but of course you can't. But you're so in tune with it, you know what I mean? Like, you'll end up being fascinated by the world he builds and by the characters he built. There's definitely some mystery going on, of course, with Haku and the spirit world in general. You will see some strange characters. You will see some good characters. There are a bunch of twists and turns in this movie, but at the end of the day, it's just a really great movie that deserves all the awards and all the love that it has received. Spirited Away is a classic. Came out in 2001, way ahead of its time. Definitely check it out. Okay, so if I decided, it's because I have so much Blu-ray that I forgot that I had some of these. So now I have to hit you with a trifecta, a collection of a series. We have Little Busters Collection 1 and 2. And then we have Little Busters Reframe, which is Season 2. We had a complete collection of that. So we're set, bro. I'm glad I was able to knock this out, because Little Busters is a great anime that nobody talks about. I have not had one conversation about Little Busters, but let's go ahead and get into it. Season 1, 26 episodes. It's about a guy named Ricky who shut himself off from the world after his parents died. And not only that, but he is also diagnosed with narcolepsy. And if you don't know what that is, you basically fall asleep at random moments. long story short. But while he was going through this darkness, this despair after his parents died, he was invited to join this group of friends called the Little Busters. That's what they called themselves. And because of that, he was able to pull himself up out of that darkness. Now, they remained intact all throughout high school. But during their last year of high school, Ricky decides to bring back the Little Busters and invite people to the Little Busters to help people out because he was once invited to the Little Busters, so he knows how it is. So the point is he wants to form a baseball team. That's the least of their worries because he starts to get messages from a cat of all things saying that he needs to find out the secret of this world. So this anime is one big mystery. And we don't find out about this mystery until season 2. So season 1, it's all friendly, it's all good, you're having a good time. Millie rocking to the music because the music is fire, you're loving the show, you're loving the characters, it's a good time. And then season 2 starts and they drop the bomb on you, bro. Like, bruh, I enjoyed Little Buster season 1, don't get me wrong, but it's a big old setup. It's a big setup for season 2. So I say definitely check out this show for season 2 alone, because once you find out what the mystery is, once you find out the truth of the world that Ricky is living in, you're gonna be like, what? Man, this show is so crazy. Not only that, like I always say, man, the characters are really good, man. Really good characters, really good music. The music is underrated. The whole show is underrated, bro. So definitely check out Little Busters if you haven't already. It's a mysterious world we live in. We're gonna keep living though. Next up, we have the limited edition of Orange. Shout out to Right Stuff Anime. That's where I buy most of my anime from, most of my Blu-ray. Shout out to Right Stuff Anime once again. It's not sponsored, but they have all my money, so whatever. But Orange is actually interesting because the live action came out before the anime. Usually it's the other way around, so I enjoyed the live action for sure. But when I heard it was getting an anime too, I said, okay, I'm gonna have to watch that. So now it's time to cry. Orange, 13 episodes, dropped in 2016. It's about a girl named Naho who was in her sophomore year of high school. And on the first day of high school, man, she received a note from herself. Now this note was dated 10 years in the future. So of course she took it as a joke until things in the note actually started happening. Future Naho was trying to tell herself that in the future, she is filled with nothing but regret. And all this regret comes from a transfer student named Kakarot. And it turns out that Kakarot actually shows up as she's reading this note. So that's how she realized it was a real letter. The note then goes on to say that Kakarot is not around 10 years in the future. He's not alive. So she wants her past self to save Kakarot so that the future isn't filled with regret. Now, I love this show. It's a sci-fi drama romance show. It isn't as sci-fi as it sounds, but I mean, when you're dealing with time traveling, you have to throw sci-fi in there. But man, the concept of this show is so good, man. The story is good. And you know me, man, I like to watch anime that'll test how gangster you are. And this is definitely one of them. Because like I said, this guy that she just met isn't around 10 years in the future, but obviously he has some type of impact on her if she is trying to change the future. So definitely check out Orange if you're into these type of shows. You'll see, like, with this collection that I have, I'm definitely into shows that touch on mental illness because I think that's very important. It's very important to take care of yourself mentally. So Orange, man, really good show. By the way, I love this limited edition box. Man, Right Stuff Anime had a mega sale, so I had to cop it. I'm sad now. Let's move on to the next one. Oh, next up, we have a GOAT collection. Mamoru Hosoda, the movie collection. Now, this goes for damn near $100, but Right Stuff Anime had a mega sale for one day. Guess how much I copped it for? 4 movies. Guess how much? 30 bones. It was a cop, bro. It was a cop. So this comes with 4 great movies. The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, Summer Wars, Wolf Children, and The Boy and the Beast. Now, obviously, I can't talk about all 4 in depth, but I'll read you the synopsis from myanimelist.net. I think that'll make it easier. So let's start with The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. This movie came out in 2006. But don't let that fool you. It's a really good movie. It's about a girl named Kono who's in her last year of high school, but she's having a hard time deciding on what to do with her future. In between enduring the pressure of her teachers and killing times with her best friends, her life suddenly changes when she discovers that she is able to literally leap through time. So it's another time travel anime, but she finds out quickly that everything she does has a consequence, and time is a lot more complicated than it may seem. And this movie is really good. Mamoru Hosoda, like the next movies I'm about to mention, it's kind of like they remind me of Ghibli films in the sense that they take you to another world and you get lost in it. It's the same thing with the movie Summer Wars, which is also in this collection. It's about a student named Kenji who tries to fix a problem he accidentally caused in Oz. And Oz is actually a digital world. And the problems he caused in this world actually put the real Earth in danger. So if you're a fan of digital worlds or like virtual reality anime, you'll definitely like Summer Wars. Now, one of my favorite movies in this collection is Wolf Children. Now, Wolf Children starts with a woman named Hannah who is a college student, and she falls in love with the guy who attends her classes, but he's not enrolled. So she should have known he was a weirdo off rip. This guy ends up being a werewolf, but it's all good because it's anime, so she stuck with him. You know, that's true love. But she gives birth to two children, Ame, who was born during the rainfall, and Yuki, who was born during snowfall. You know, their names represent that. And everything is all good until the father dies. Now, obviously, the children can turn into wolves too. And it's tough because Hannah, who is human, is forced to raise these children. Well, she's not forced, but she is left to raise these children who are werewolves. And she doesn't have any experience with that, obviously, so it's tough. But I will say, this is a coming of age movie if I've ever seen one. Just the trials and tribulations that Hannah had to go through. And not only Hannah, but it transitions into becoming about Ame and Yuki, the two children, because they have to grow up pretty much hiding who they are. Now, some people may be okay with that. Some people may not be okay with that. And by some people, I mean the kids. One kid is okay with it. One kid is not okay with it. And it actually changes throughout the movie. So they literally grow mentally through the movie, and it is really, really good to see. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like, they're werewolves. These kids had to go through so much growing up, so much mentally. And so for them to make a final decision on what they want to do at the end of the movie, it was just like, my babies. They really grown up, man. I think out of this whole collection, Wolf Children is my favorite movie, so definitely check it out. And for the last one in this collection, we have The Boy and the Beast, my second favorite in this collection. Now, this kind of reminds me of Spirited Away in the sense that he's going to another world. He's meeting all these different type of people. So the story is set in the human realm, which is Shibuya and Tokyo, and the Bakemono realm, which is basically just monsters. Of course, these two worlds should never intersect. They should never cross each other. But one day, a lonely boy meets a lonely monster, and they befriend each other. So this is time-wise a long anime. There's a time skip in there, and you'll see how this boy grows by being with the beast, and you'll see how this beast grows by being with the boy. You know, this boy, he wants to fight, he wants to be a warrior, so the beast can train him in that. And in turn, unknowingly, the beast learns how to become a better person. So worlds are crossing, people are learning from each other. Like I said, it's kind of a mix of Spirited Away and Barakamon. So Boy and the Beast, definitely my second favorite in this collection. Like I said, it goes for a lot, but if you get on Right Stuff Anime, they have a lot of deals. You might catch it for the low. All four movies are a must watch. Next up, we do have another classic in Death Parade. Death Parade, one of the best anime that came out in 2015. I don't care what you say. It might have been the best. 12 episodes long, so it's short. It's a quick watch, but it's a really good watch. This show is about the afterlife, and I do have a couple of Blu-ray dealing with this. This show is about the afterlife where people that die end up at a bar. And at this bar, you kind of play a game of fate, literally. Depending on what happens in the game, that determines if you go to hell or get reincarnated. So these games could be bowling, darts, air hockey, or anything in between. And eventually each person's true nature will be revealed when they start to recall memories of how they died. So it's not about winning or losing the game, it's about being a good sport. Don't be an asshole and you don't get sent to hell. Simple as that. The bartender always runs these games, and his name is Decim, and he'll tell you the winner will get reincarnated, the loser will be sent to a void for all of eternity. Like I said, it's not about winning or losing. There could be 2 winners, there could be 2 losers, but there can only be 1 assistant to Decim. She shows up in this show pretty quickly, and she becomes a main character in the show just as fast, and she sticks around mainly because she can't be judged. Most people, they come in, lose a game in 30 minutes, and they're sent to heaven or hell, but she sticks around for the entirety of the show because she can't be judged, and also she displays her human emotions and she voices her opinions, which causes the bartender Decim to look within himself and wonder if he's judging people the right way. And so this show is, once again, like I said, bro, I love shows that touch on mental illness, and this show is all over that. Now, eventually, the assistant, I'm gonna call her the assistant because I don't want to spoil anything, she gets her memories back and she learns her name. It is a terrific scene. I definitely recommend this anime, mainly because it gets you thinking. You know, I love anime that gets you thinking, and I love anime that touches on mental illness. And not only that, but the music is really good. The characters are very intriguing. The only thing I don't like about this show is that it ended on a cliffhanger, and we've had no word of season 2, like none at all. So, you know, that might ruin it for a few people, but I do think Death Parade is a classic. It's unique. You know, I haven't seen a lot of anime like this. So definitely check this one out. Like, definitely check out Death Parade. One of my favorite anime of 2015. So next up, we're diving into the Makoto Shinkai collection. This won't be the first time you hear his name. You see it on the case, the next Miyazaki, man. This director is amazing when it comes to movies. You know, I pretty much have most of his movies, but you'll probably see some of them in part 2 of this video. So first up, I have 5 centimeters per second, and I'm not gonna lie, this is my favorite Shinkai movie so far. Just because it hits home, that's the only reason. I know a lot of people probably heard of Your Name, and that's the same guy. So if you like Your Name, just go back and watch all of his films. So let's go ahead and talk about 5 centimeters per second. Now, it is a film, but it's set up in 3 episodes. And most people find this boring because not a lot is going on, but maybe I just like boring. Like, I really like sitting back and watching a story unfold, because that's all this is. It's a story. Not a lot is going on, but if you relate to it, you're gonna love it. So this is the story of Akari and Takaki. And like I said, this is split up into 3 episodes. So episode 1 is childhood. They met each other because they were both, I don't want to say weak, but they got sick a lot. So they met each other in the library. They like all the same things. They walked each other home and all that stuff when they were kids. And it's really clear that they were close childhood friends in episode 1. So episode 1 is the meeting. Episode 2 is a time skip of junior high or high school. At this time, Akari and Takaki actually moved away from each other, but they're still making attempts to talk to each other. You know, they have mails, they have text. At one point, Takaki actually gets on the train and goes to Akari to meet her. And of course, that's an adventure because it doesn't work out exactly the way he planned. But at the end of the day, everything ends off okay. Now, like I said, they're in junior high at this point in time. And eventually they go to high school, and they're not at the same schools anymore. So Akari has different love interests, and it's the same with Takaki. But the problem is they're still bonded to each other in a way because they grew up with each other, and obviously they liked each other a lot. So next up, we get to episode 3, which is further in the future. I'm talking about after college, they're working now. We see how Takari and Akaki ended up. Long story short, this is a growing anime. Let it go, big fella. This anime is all about moving on. Some things weren't meant to be and some things were meant to be. So you got to decide which is which early, or you're going to end up being depressed until you learn how to move forward and move on. That's why I love this this anime so much. And I will say that the anime really did not do the manga justice. The manga goes way deeper into the story, so if you want to see how this relationship really panned out, how Takaki really panned out, definitely check out the manga. But 5 centimeters per second is so good. The music is so good. It's just realistic. We watch all these movies that have happy endings, but Shinkai, the director, he always gives us a realistic ending, and I just respect him for it. So like I said, to most people this movie is boring because most of it is just narration and it's just showing the relationship between two people that grew up together. But I love it, bro. I love it. I really do. Not only that, but the animation is really good too. So man, matter of fact, I'm about to put this in now. So to end part 1 of this video, because I can't put all of this in one video, man. It's already coming up on 30 minutes. I'm gonna end this one with A Silent Voice, a relatively new movie. And this movie is, bruh, when I say test your gangster, when I say mental illness check, like drama, tragedy, slice of life, coming of age, this movie has it all. Now this movie is about a deaf girl named Shoko, and Shoko was bullied as an adolescent, as a child. And the bullying scene, I ain't gonna lie, it was kind of triggering. Like, I never wanted to smack little kids so badly. I mean, the things they would do because she was deaf, it was just dumb, bro. Man, let me move on. So you have this guy named Ishida who was kind of the head of the bullying. And once the rest of the class finally grew up and realized what he was doing was stupid, they turned their back on him. You love to see it. So later on in life, the bully, Ishida, meets up with the deaf girl that he used to bully, Shoko Nishimaya. And he wants to make amends with her, kind of get redemption to prove that he isn't the kid that he once was. So this anime, like I said, it's kind of tough to watch because unexpected things happen so much in this anime, bro. Really unexpected. Some people that are good on the outside aren't good on the inside. Some people that are bad on the outside have some internal things going on. And so in his case, the bullying was just a way of projecting that, you know? So, like I said, man, this anime is pretty powerful. It's really touching. I love this movie, bro. It's a really, really good movie. Like I said, mental illness check, drama, tragedy. Just be grateful because someone always has it worse than you. Even if they seem happy on the outside, someone always has it worse than you. If you haven't seen A Silent Voice, definitely check this out because, like I said, this bully is going on this redemption arc to show this deaf girl that he's not the person that she thinks he is, but at the same time, she's not the person that he thinks she is, you know? So definitely watch it. That's all I can say, watch it. So that's how I'm gonna wrap up part 1 of this video, the Blu-ray collection. In my next video, like I said, it'll probably drop on Friday. You'll see more Blu-ray that I have, more Blu-ray that I recommend. It'll be about 15 titles that you should check out. Like I said, I'm just putting you all on an anime. That's all I want to do. So if you stuck through this video, I appreciate you to the fullest. More videos dropping soon, I promise. My fault for slacking, but I'm back now. So you all be easy. Peace.